As of right now, the U.S. government, your government, has racked up more than $10 trillion in red ink. You can't even see it on the national debt clock in Manhattan because there aren't enough spaces.
10 trillion is a number that would just be beyond my father's imagination back in 1980.
And now it's coming to fruition.
Now we're there.
Real estate developer Douglas Durst is the keeper of the clock. His father, Seymour Durst, first conceived of it during the 1980s when the national debt, then $1 trillion, began to grow under President Reagan. Since then, the debt has grown so rapidly, the clock has been overhauled 3 times and now needs to be overhauled again. Helena Durst is Seymour Durst's granddaughter.
We're in a crunch to change the debt clock as fast as we can and to add an extra digit and do what we can. But we wanted to look, we've been looking at making the debt clock flashier, getting people's attention on it, really being able to explain the problem a little bit more than what was limited to us when we first built the clock.
The Durst family takes little joy in shoving all this red ink in the faces of New Yorkers each day. The intention decades ago was only to prod the country to deal with the problem before it got out of hand, not as a countdown to a possible economic doomsday.
It really started in the 80s with the Reagan administration, and as the first George Bush called it, voodoo economics, that allowed us to borrow against the future wealth of the country.
What most alarms Durst today is how rapidly the national debt is now growing.
2002, we started running large deficits again. The debt started growing dramatically, slowly at first, but then ever and ever increasing amounts. It absolutely is a sign of where this country has been going for the last 5 or 6 years, living off of ever-increasing debt.
It is a sober reminder for tourists, and especially New Yorkers who have to walk by this every single day. And by the time it takes me to walk from there to the camera, which is about 20 feet, our national debt has risen some $12, $13, $14,000, 15 and counting.
I try not to look at it. Sometimes I try and come to the other side, but it's kind of one of those like car crash things where you can't look away. It's just so awful. You have to look.
I see an empire falling. And I'm sad because this is my country. This is my home. And I love it. And I don't want it to go down this road. I really don't.
But for now, the clock is ticking.